All right, up here at my farm, I think this is the 7th or 8th of June, Thursday, 5075E. Yesterday, I was mowing this thing through a fuel pressure code, and it goes into limp and then shuts off. I got it restarted, blah, blah, blah. Got a hold of John Deere, and they said, well, you got some trash in your fuel tank, or your fuel filter is plugging up. So it's only got 41.5 hours on it. Well, that don't matter. No, there's no telling where you got your fuel. You probably got mud in your fuel tank. And I said, well, I'm not trying to argue with you, but I disagree because I run the same diesel in my pickup. But anyway, I'll change the fuel filter element because I had 2 spares. Now I got 2 more spares. I was trying to get the correct oil filter. When I bought the tractor, they sold me 2 oil filters for spares that were wrong. I was hoping to get 4 because the 5045E takes the same filter, but they only had 2 on the shelf, so I got the correct filter and told them what the code was. It's 157.1 and 156, I think 9.31 is the 2 codes it's throwing. The 157.1 is low fuel supply pressure. And I said, I'm going to wheel myself over there. It's about 100 degrees inside this barn. It's uninsulated. That spot on the floor is when I changed the oil filter when I got the correct one. When you trace out your fuel supply and fuel return, they go through a double cavity grommet. Now what I noticed today, for 3.5 hours, it run perfect. Then it started throwing the fuel pressure code. What the hell? If I had trash in the tank, you'd think it'd do it right away. Now on diesels, you got fuel supply going to your filter, then to your injection pump, and the injection pump supplies the fuel to your injectors at a high pressure. Not all the fuel goes through the injectors, so there's a return line going back to the fuel tank. This diesel's been circulated and compressed in the injection pump to about 3,000 psi, and then what bypasses the relief from the injection pump is what feeds back to the fuel tank. It picks up a lot of heat. So the longer you run the tractor, the warmer the fuel gets inside your fuel tank, which is your supply to your filter and your injection pump. It just keeps warming up and warming up. There is no diesel fuel cooler. The hotter the diesel is, the more efficient the engine runs. So, yesterday I got that code at about 3.5 hours. Today I got that code at about 3.5 hours. Okay, it's temperature related as the fuel heats up. So I start hand over hand the supply line from the tank to the filter, and it's very pliable, very soft rubber compound going through a double cavity grommet. One cavity holds supply, the other cavity holds the return. And I think this hot diesel is swelling the supply line, because I didn't have a wrench with me and I was 2/3 of a mile from the barn. So I removed the hose clamp on the supply to the filter and simply pulled it through that double cavity grommet to get it out of that grommet. Basically get it down to ground level and see if it had flow through that line from the tank, and it did. I said, So instead of trying to force it back through that grommet, I just went around that grommet, tied it back into the inlet side of the filter, put the clamp back on, tractor cranked up. And before, when I was stranded down there, it'd run for 10 seconds, and throw a code and kill itself. 10 seconds, throw a code, kill itself. Did that 5 times. I said, well, this ain't gonna work. So I got out and started digging. So anyway, like I said, I bypassed the hose holding a grommet with the supply and went straight to the inlet of the filter, cranked up the tractor, ran it up to 2100 RPM. I disengaged the PTO so I wasn't driving the mower, and drove it up here to the barn. I said, parked it outside the barn, and my blood sugar was dropping, so I had to eat my lunch and drank some juice. Put the tractor on 2200 RPM, high idle. Came in here and ate my sandwiches and drank my juice, and let it run for 20 minutes at 2200 RPM, and it didn't miss a lick. So I think I found the problem. That grommet's too tight, and as the hose swells up, when the diesel warms up, it's pinching off the flow to the filter, greatly reducing the flow to the filter. Let's put it that way. So what I'm going to do, next time I come up here, I'm going to grab 2 washers and spread that grommet out a little bit so it still supports the hoses, but it's not pinching them when they swell up from the heat. I think that's going to call it done. And John Deere kept on saying, oh, we got to pull the fuel tank. You got trash in your tank. I said, partner's got 40 hours on it. I don't hardly believe that. You could be right, but I don't think so, because when I pulled the fuel filter, it was pristine. There's nothing in the sediment bowl. There's nothing in the water bowl. There's nothing. And it did tell me, well, if we got to pull a tank, that's minimum 4-hour labor. I think they get $185 an hour for the labor. Then you got the disposal fee for the fuel they got to take out of it. Blah, 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 blah. So, I think I found my problem. And I ain't going to speak out of turn. It could break the next time I use it, but I think I found my problem. I got another about 16 hours of tractor time to finish mowing for this part of the year. It'll be a good test for it. But like I said, I'm hot, frustrated. I'm soaked in diesel again. And when I dropped off my lawnmower at my little building, I turned on the air conditioner, so I had to go back there and look at my little lawnmower, turn the air conditioner off. And while I'm up here, I'm going to bag up the trash and all my used filters and everything, get them out of here. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I found the problem. And it didn't cost me $1,000 to figure it out. Oh, one of their other solutions, there's an in-tank suction screen for the fuel pump. So yeah, we just take those off. I said, all right. And I said, yeah, we'll put in an inline filter going to your other filter. That fixes it. And I'm thinking, all right, there's a suction screen on that in-tank pump, so you don't trash your pump, which is over $1,000, plus that 4 hours labor to drop the tank. I'm thinking, nah, I think I'll be doing this myself. So anyway, that's all for this one. Thank you.